Hi, I'm Kirsten McLaughlin, Public Affairs Manager for Cox Communications, and welcome to Community Connection. This morning we have Mark Sylvester from 805 Connect.
How are
welcome.
you? Yep.
Thank you for being here today. Tell me about 805 Connect.
You know what's great is I just noticed the name of the show is Community Connection, and in our name it's 805 Connect. So we're all about helping people in the 805 region, it's in the name, make better connections to help improve their business.
So how did this project come about?
You know, it's a great story. Santa Barbara and this region really comes together to solve bigger problems than we can solve as individuals. And about a year ago, there was a big meeting at City College, and we had the public sector and the private sector and the educators there to say, looking at economic vitality along the 101 corridor, what could we be doing to stimulate that vitality? So there were a lot of ideas, and we looked at what other people are doing, what other regions are doing. And at the end of the meeting, we just said, well, there's a lot we could do. Now what? So a couple weeks later, the things I said, I think, resonated with a few people, because we have been building these kinds of networks, but we typically build them inside companies, or we run NASA's professional development network for teachers. And we've got a big site launching next week, so if there are any teachers listening, they want to go to connectededucators.org, because that same idea of connecting people works in a region or, in fact, around the world. So I went to a couple of more meetings, and they said, Mark, you've really got to help us, because you understand how to connect with people and how to build an inventory of their skills, how they could help, where they need help, what they're focused on, what they've done, and then aspirationally, what do they want to do? And that would allow us to know who's doing what with whom in the region. And once we knew that, now we can start making connections. So someone who's looking for a specific service, or someone who doesn't do a really good job of marketing locally, could actually use this to find new customers.
So tell me how 805 Connect serves businesses, organizations, even individuals. If I'm a person walking in off the street, how can I use 805 Connect?
That's a great question, because I'm really interested, I'll say we're really interested in the people behind the businesses. I don't do business with a brand, I do business with a person, right? And I want to have a relationship with that person. I want to know what they care about, what's interesting to them. Do I want to do business with them? I mean, when we think about the food we eat now, I want to know where it was grown, if I can go to the farmer's market and meet the guy who grew it, do I feel more connected to them? Absolutely. That same thing works with local business. So there might be 6 marketing firms I could talk to. If I get a sense of where they're at, what they're passionate about, are we aligned? So our technology at Intro Networks has this matching engine that takes those skills, how you can help, where you need help, what you're focused on, and matches you up. So if I'm then looking for a marketing person, or I'm looking for a designer, or I'm looking for an insurance agent, I'm not just going to say, yes, here's a list of those people. Here's a list of those people, and here's what you have in common with them, so that first conversation, you make a better connection.
So what does 805 Connect offer to educate its members?
Oh, that's a great one, because as the designer of the system, I kind of assume it's really easy to use. And it is really easy to use, but to really get the power out of it, there's a lot of nuanced things. Like, how do you do that search? Like, I want to find people just in Camarillo, just CEOs, businesses have been around 20 years or longer. Okay. And that say they're good at brainstorming, right? So let's add that in there. So what we do is a thing called 2-minute tips. Everybody's time stressed right now, and we have ADD. So every week, so when you join 805 Connect, you get, our publication comes out on Wednesday morning, and we've got a story, a theme. Like this week, our theme is around going to events. We want to see if there are at least 50 events that are related to business in the Tri-County region, the 805, and then invite someone to go with you to that event. Maybe you make the drive up to San Luis, or you make a drive down the Conejo Valley. Well, in that newsletter, I focused on how to add events to the calendar with a 2-minute tip. So each week, the users are getting a little 2 minutes. Oh, how do I get a little bit better at that? A little bit better. Will I invest 2 minutes? As it turns out, the answer is yes, they will.
So 805 Connect is clearly about connecting our community both online and in person.
Yes.
So how do you see businesses, private, public organizations, government all using this and coming together?
You know, the interesting thing about this is when we were first looking at the situation, what's the current state, right? Because in any design problem, you need to evaluate everything, look at it with big open eyes. And what we saw was a bunch of silos. There's the public sector silo. There's 27 cities. They all have silos. And within there's the business development person and the mayors, and there's that. You've got your service sector, chambers of commerce, SCORE, Weave, WIB, goes on and on and on. But they're all siloed as well. And then you have all the schools from Cal Poly, UCSB, City College, Allen Hancock, down to Cal Lutheran, plus Cal State. They're siloed because they have business. So imagine me looking at this map with all silos. What I needed to do was create this kind of membrane around all of that and say, could that silo be porous enough, right? Why do educators want to talk to the business community? Worked with Cal Poly's Career Center a couple of weeks ago. Took them on a deep dive. What they want is they want to connect to the business community because they need mentors for various programs and they need to place interns. To do that, they need a relationship so they know, Bob is looking for this kind of person, not just a warm body, right? How do we make, it's not about, do you have a connection? Do you have the right connection? Right? Where right is relevant to any given person. I work with the city of Santa Barbara. I've met with the person in charge of economic vitality. And so she's able to use it because she can find specific groups of people in the area to invite to workshops to make sure they get a little extra invite and incentive to come. So everybody's looking at it a little bit differently, and our job is to create a robust profile of all the people so you could do those micro-targeted searches.
So how can 805 Connect help businesses sort of from their startup through the development, say a new business as it develops over time and into its maturity?
So another perfect question. So we ask, what stage are you in your business? It's just an idea. It's not born yet, right? Or am I incubating, accelerating, I'm in the startup phase, and there's 89 startups, by the way, in the region. Or am I in the medium growth, I'm in accelerating, I've maybe done my first $1 million on my way, and then we've got market maturity. Perfect example. So there's a woman who has a business in Westlake. She's a member of 805 Connect. Calls me panicked yesterday on the car. She says, Mark, I got accepted to pitch my company at one of these pitch competitions. Okay, and I got the deck back from the designer. It's terrible. I need help. I need someone now. And I'm even in the car. I don't have time to go and log in. So I said, let me do that for you. So I happen to know who the designers are in the area, only through 805 Connect. And I know the one I think is the best one. So I connected those two, and bam to boom, she's going to have in a couple of days something fantastic. We hope she wins. But that's supporting the startup community. There are 6 incubators from Westlake with the Huddle campus to Hub 101 in Camarillo to Synergy here to GEM in Goleta to Hub 81, which is happening up in Santa Maria, and then Hot House up in SLO. So there's definitely an ecology in an ecosystem around supporting them because we want to retain and grow these businesses. We want places for the students coming out of the schools to go to work, and then as they start to grow, we want to make sure they have the appropriate resources as they start to grow. And the thing that they really need, they need good people. They need really good people. And guess what? There's thousands of fantastic people here in the 805. We just don't know who they are, where they are, because maybe they're not looking for a job. They're what we call a passive seeker. So maybe this is a great way to hire from within.
So how do our viewers get involved? How do they sign up?
we need to make it easy. There's this thing in technology called friction. So we need to remove all the friction, right? So they go to 805connect.com, and on that site, read the front page. See if this is the right thing for you. We think it is. If you're in business and you're serving other businesses, it is in there. Or you're a public agency or a service organization, whoever, you'll see all of that. There's multiple sign-up buttons. Just click that. The process to create a profile we think is fun and engaging. And there's this sense of self-discovery, because when we ask you the question, how could you help other people? I'm kind of saying, hey, step up and give something back to the community. We've got 85 things that you could weigh in on. And then the verse of that is, how could we help you? Where could you use some help? And people fill that out, and we look at it and say, I need help in advertising, I need help in SEO, I need help in alternative financing. Well, now people can find one another and start making those organic connections. It's really easy.
Well, this is great.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts for us today?
Right now, we're in the stage of growing awareness. This is organic. It's a public-private project, so we only do this through the generosity and support of partners. So the business community has been supporting us. That's an ongoing thing for us to reach out to businesses that are serving other businesses, and building the audience is the next big thing. So my next goal, so we're a little over 900, so we'll have 1,000 here pretty quick. 10,000 users by the spring. So next time I come back, I want to tell you we've got 10,000 users, okay?
Great. Sounds
Good.
like a deal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here today.
You're
so
welcome.
nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
great.
And thank you. We'll see you next time on Community Connection.